Data-driven instruction. As you can see on this data chart, these are the current teaching assignments for this instructor. The table, this right here, is blocked out for FERPA reasons, but here's your course section group, start date, end date, number of sessions, and enrollments. This is going to let this instructor know that there's smaller numbers in her 9th grade Lit Comp Section 1 group, and then also in her 10th grade Lit Comp AB group. So that would be something that she would need to be aware of. This data is showing gender, class, the session, and you see these aren't all the same. There's some 18-week, there's some 12-week, some 14-week, some 16-week, and that would be something that she would need to know. Enrollment complete, oriented opt-out date, student enrollment type. It's important that the instructor knows that if a student has a 504 or is a gifted student, or possibly they have an IEP. None of these have IEPs, but it's important to know that. Also, it's important to know the status. These blue sections would normally show up telling you the student, facilitator, and special ed instructor, which would be important for communication purposes because the facilitator is usually a parent. And then if it's a special ed student, they would definitely need to have to be in the loop with the learner's instruction. To me, becoming familiar with this student information on this particular data will provide a window to the learner's needs. This document right here shows this document right here is the communication log. As you can see, this particular instructor, the courses start on 9/19, and she made sure to reach out on September 5th to and that's about 2 weeks prior, to give students a welcome and let them know what the course is going to happen. She also does regular course updates, and she contacts when there's a student who is failing. This communication log needs to be for any communication, whether it's phone, whether it's mail, whether it's email. It's important that it's documented. Likely when she contacted that parent or facilitator, she offered ways for remediation, or how to, and she addressed any issues or challenges that they might be having. If a student hasn't logged in or hasn't gone to view a page in a couple of days, it's important that the instructor reaches out to find out if there's something going on. The facilitator might not even be aware that the student hasn't logged on, so it's important that the instructor stays on top of that. This is a positive email, motivational email, and this is important because a lot of times we email only when a student is struggling, but it's important to also communicate when students perform well. In this instance, the student had been struggling, and Miss Gardner was trying to motivate the student, let them know, hey, I see that you're really trying, that you're really putting forth the effort. I'm here for you. You can contact me anytime via email to answer any questions with work, content, and assignments, so that the student knows that she's still there and that she acknowledges that maybe the student doesn't have a perfect score, but the student is making effort. Here we have the number of assignments completed. As you can see, this one only completed 26 of the 59. The date accessed is right here. The number of page views is listed here. This particular data is very beneficial to the instructor, especially if a student is not being successful. As you can see, this person right here hasn't been in here 000 page views. The only thing that I would do, probably, I don't know if this instructor did this, but for me, I would make sure that I would have contacted all these students probably by the next day to make sure that if they didn't log on that next day, I would have emailed, I would have called, I would have contacted to see, hey, what's going on? You need to get on. This is, important. You're going to be behind. So that is something that I would make sure I did. Now, as you can see, the one that have 58 out of 59 have been going almost every single day. Okay. to me, this is very important that the instructor should monitor this data regularly so that you can reach out sooner. If you wait too long, like if you wait until September 9th to say something to this particular student, they're so far behind, they're going to be frustrated. It's likely they're going to fail, or they're going to, they're going to think they have no chance and they can't, they're going to drop. And we don't want students to drop. We want them to be successful and finish up. So it's the instructor's job to make sure that they're contacting, making sure that student knows that that they are there, to make them feel special, which is difficult in the online environment, but it's the job of the instructor to do that. This, the gradebook, it allows stakeholders to monitor coursework and review feedback. It's important that instructors make sure that students know how to access his or her gradebook so that he or she can monitor grades and feedback. They need to know that the first week. I feel that the instructor's feedback was fair, but it could improve. With this newsletter final draft, she was repetitive. I think you did a great job. I think you did a great job of adding details throughout the newsletter. She didn't need to put, I think you did a great job twice. With the newsletter final draft, I'm sorry, not the newsletter final draft, but the advertising evaluation, there was a spelling error. So as instructors, we have to make sure, we make mistakes, but we need to make sure that we go back and model proper spelling and grammar. So that's what I would change about this. I'm not sure if this was a missed assignment or if it's just hasn't been due yet. So I don't really know what to say about that one. Here, this data example is where an instructor gave access to the missed quiz questions for the student to review. This is going to be beneficial for students and the instructor so that remediation can occur. The instructor, I know I would assign activities to review the content missed. If the majority of the class missed the question, then the instructor should reteach the information, which is what I would do. This data provides an example of submitted Dropbox assignments. You can see the name of the assignment, number of points earned, the percentage, number of attempts, and then if you click on that view button, this view button here, you can read instructor feedback. This is another means for a student to monitor his or her work and for the instructor to provide feedback to students to help them improve and successfully complete the course. Dropbox assignment feedback, that is what if you had pressed that view button, this is what would pop up. This is where you provide a clear explanation as to why he or she did not receive full credit. The only thing that I would do different than this example is offer positive feedback along with the ways to improve. This instructor also needs to be conscious of spelling, like right here, they put ident instead of indent. Grammar here, also add any special skills you may have and list of references. It should probably be a list of references, but either way, this person did provide some good feedback, but like I said, I would make sure that I at least provided something positive to go along with it.